Good afternoon, Fighting Irish fans. I'm really excited to be up here. Last year, I had the opportunity to interview Coach, and now he has a year under his belt and a whole lot more to say about his time here. And so, thanks for being here today. Now, wait, when were you in Spain?
We were in Spain August 5th until August 15th, and it feels like it was 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, tell us about Spain.
It was such a wonderful experience for our players, our team, right? Like leading into the trip, you ask some of them if they've ever been out of the country, and a lot of them haven't. So it was their first experience. And, being a student athlete, you don't get a chance to study abroad, especially in a sport like ours that bridges both semesters. So this was a chance. You get to go once every 4 years. And, we had great partners, great donors that helped us to be able to do this trip. And it's great team bonding, great learning experience. And we got to play a few games as well.
So you had to get a few passports.
We had Pat Rogers, thank you for all the work you did helping us get passports for a lot of the guys on our team. But successful, we got it done, and we had a blast.
So I'm going to go back to the end of last season at the ACC tournament. I had the privilege of sitting right behind you in D.C. and watching you with your team. And it was as if you were showing everything that you'd been saying, and certainly everything you said a year ago during the interview about how important the team is, the character of the team, discipline, all of that. And I could see you. You were right there with them, making sure that they were focused. How's that going? And what has been the greatest challenge in getting where you wanted to go with them?
It's going great. And I think the challenge is time and patience, right? We live in a college environment now where everything gets sped up. And people are transferring out or people transfer in, and sometimes you have to know what your plan is and stick to your plan, right? There's quick fixes out there, and you may be able to plug a tire that's going flat, and you can still ride on the highway for a little bit. But after a while, that tire is going to go flat again. Like, I want the tire to be stable, and our tire is getting stable, and it's able to roll, and we want to roll for a long, long time. So I'm really pleased with where we are. I love our guys. I love the group that we have. Our culture is, I'd put it and compare it against, any culture across, this country in a short amount of time. And that's a credit to our staff, and that's a credit to the players that we have.
Well, talk a little bit about the team. You have a young team, right? I think there are 4 freshmen and let's see. Let me make sure. I'm going to see if I can say it. Matt Aloko and Nikita Konstantinovsky. Close?
That's about as close as I get.
All right. So tell us about that team and how you're going to use these players.
Yeah, we're really fortunate that we brought in 3 older grad transfers, and Matt Aloko is an unbelievable leader. He graduated from Princeton and transferred here, and he's working on his master's degree. But he won an award at Princeton for the entire athletic department as the best leader at Princeton. And what he is doing for our younger guys, right? Marcus Burton, Braden Shrewsberry, Logan Imes are still young in their careers, but he is showing them what leadership looks like. So when he graduates, they can take the mantle and keep pushing forward. So he's been a great addition. Nikita, we'll call him Nikita K, or you just call him Nikita. If you can say his last name, like
I'm going to practice.
Yes, yeah. I just took him just so the announcers have a chore every time they say his name. So he can really rebound. He's been a great teammate for us. He's a great kid. He loves being here. He's going to really help us this year. And then Burke Chebahar is also a graduate transfer. He transferred from Lehigh. And I don't know if I asked Burke to walk from here to the bookstore, it'd probably take him 45 minutes. He walks about as slow as anybody I've ever seen. but he plays like that on the court. Nothing speeds him up. He has a great way about him. He has a great smile about him, and he can really shoot the basketball. So he puts a smile on my face when that three's going in.
That's great. Well, and you also, including your son, have 3 locals. I don't know the last time we had that many. What does that do for the team? What does that do for the crowd and the feeling in the arena?
Yeah, I love it. Right, that's part of my favorite thing is when they do the starting lineups and I get a chance to sit off to the side and you just take a moment and listen. And, the crowd is, they cheer for everybody. They roar for everybody. But it gets a little bit louder for the home guys. And I've had a chance to talk to Blake Wesley and Demetrius Jackson about the same thing. And they say that feeling of being able to play here and represent your city, but also, like, we have a bunch of Indiana guys as well now, being able for those guys to represent this state as well as Notre Dame. This is really fun, and I love it, right? I'm from Indiana, so I love it, every part of it. And I'm a local, too. I got a Granger address. You guys, cheer loud for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got some of your family here. We've got your wife, Molly, somewhere over here. There she is. Grace is here. And just for the record, Grace is not skipping school. They got out at noon, so she's okay. And
it's Football Fridays, though, so she's okay to miss, right?
Yeah, I think so. Everything's fair on Football Fridays. Okay, so you're coaching your son. This is a real personal, I'm going to ask this one. And you got here, and people are saying, wait, his son's on the team? Man, your son is on the team, and he's been great. How hard is it to coach your son? You're anybody's child at this level.
It's actually really hard. It's a lot harder than it seems. It's a lot harder than it looks. But I think it's hard because I'm constantly trying to be in the moment. And I'm thinking about our entire team. I'm thinking about what's next. I'm thinking about how do we continue to win. And I miss out on moments, right? I'm the head coach at Notre Dame, but I'm still a dad. So our staff does a great job of reminding me of that sometimes, that, hey, enjoy this, right? He scored 27 points at Georgia Tech, and he's being interviewed on ESPN hey, that's your son. And I'm like, he turned it over a couple times. His man got by and missed that box out. That's the only thing that I'm thinking about. So, you have to constantly be reminded of that. And he did a good job. He was really pressing at the start of the year, right? He put a lot of pressure on himself to be great early, and because of the expectations and because you want to prove yourself. And once he settled in, he really took off. And credit to his teammates of really helping him along the way.
I asked that question because when my youngest brother was in 5th grade, my dad was coaching. And apparently it was right before Christmas, and he must have been pretty hard on him because at Christmas he opened up a new pair of beautiful high tops. And for us growing up in rural South Dakota, that was a big deal. And he opened them up and burst into tears. And we were all looking at him. He said, "You can take them back. Dad kicked me off the team." I guess he didn't kick him off the team. He kept the shoes. So you alluded a little bit of the changes, right? The transfer portal, how you're using that. Let's talk about how do you use that, and where is it an advantage, and where is it a disadvantage?
Yeah, it's you're always I think everybody in every part of life is always seduced by what's new or what's not there, right? Everybody's favorite player is the backup quarterback, right? Because they think the quarterback stinks and the backup's going to be better. There's usually a reason why the guy's a backup and the other guy's a starter. Although I think Steve Angeli's a pretty good player, so kudos to him. I think he's going to be really good for us, and C.J. Carr. But the transfer portal is how you build a team and how you build a program is not one size fits all, and it's different for every program. I think every team here at Notre Dame uses it different. For us, I think we're at a point now where we're stable, and we can be back to just recruiting high school guys. And now we grow those guys and build those guys, and that's our group. And we know every single year who it's going to be. And we hang our hats on our player development. Guys get better from year to year. Guys get better from month to month. And our team is getting better at the same time. So if there's a need, like if the NBA knocked on my door and said, hey, we're going to take Marcus Burton tomorrow, and I'm going to say, we're going to have to replace him somehow, right? That's unexpected. And I think that's how you'll see us kind of use the transfer portal, is to fix unexpected needs. But I think we're at a place now where we're stable. We have a class of seniors next year. We'll have juniors. We'll have sophomores. We'll have freshmen. And we'll kind of grow that group together, stay together, and be different, because our stability and our culture is going to win out.
So word on the street is you're a pretty good recruiter. What makes you a good recruiter? What makes someone a good? I mean, you in no time you've turned this team around. You've put people in place. Not everyone can do that, and I know you're not doing it by yourself. You got others.
Yeah, you know what? The only thing I try to do is be myself, right? Like, what you see is what you get with me. There's no mask here, and I don't pretend to be anybody else. But also have a lot to sell. Right? Like, the better recruiter you are, the better stuff you have to sell. I got a lot of good stuff, and I love it. That I can recruit kids that I want here. I can recruit kids that want to be great students. I can recruit kids that want to be great basketball players. I can, show them our beautiful practice facility, the Joyce Center, knowing that we're in the state of Indiana and people love basketball here. We have an unbelievable basketball tradition here at Notre Dame. Like, I can go on and on and on, where I don't need to talk about any other program, because I got a lot to talk about with Notre Dame. And when you have that much to sell, that makes you a pretty good recruiter, and really good staff as well.
That's great. I love hearing that. So the second half of the transfer portal, although they aren't the same, but they certainly are hand in hand, is what's going on with name, image, and likeness. What does that look like for you at Notre Dame, and how do you use that to your advantage?
I think for us, and I think having a very forward-thinking athletic director like Pete, that is in lockstep with myself and Marcus and Niel and Salima and Kevin Corrigan and all the other coaches on what we need to be successful. And that's the biggest thing, is having what we need, but also making sure that our guys feel like this is the place they want to be. They're being taken care of. They are having opportunities, because this is Notre Dame. And we want to be the best in every area that we have. So I think we are fair in what we do. There's plenty of opportunities because of the brand that we have. So we take advantage of it in a good way, right? I always say there's still a purity to Notre Dame. And other places, I don't know if you exactly, I won't mention other places, but I don't know if you feel the same
We'll talk afterwards.
Yeah, we'll talk afterwards. Turn the mics off and let it talk. But I don't know if you feel the same way. Like, we still do things the right way here. And the right way now is still, like, taking care of your players and name, image, and likeness, and letting them have opportunities. So that's a big part of, what we're doing, a big part of our team. But it's also, you stay with the times, or you get left behind.
Yeah, it's an interesting balance, isn't it? I mean, you got to do it. I mean, you can't say we don't like it, so we're not going to do it. But you're right. There are some programs that aren't doing it the right way. Do we lose players to those programs?
We have. Yes. Yeah, we have. And sometimes it's a win, sometimes it's a loss, right? For us, I need to get it to the point where it's a basketball decision, a school decision, and sometimes it's okay that we lose to other people, because it might not be the right person or the right fit. But sometimes it is the right fit, and you lose out to other people. And then you just have to recalibrate and figure out how do we do it better the next time so we don't get in this situation again. So we're learning, we're moving, like we're constantly evolving, and we're trying to be the best. And that's, that's what you guys want. That's what you guys ask for. And that's what we demand of ourselves, is we want to be the best as well.
So let's look ahead to the season. I mean, it's right upon us. What are some of the games you're looking forward to?
I'm really looking forward to all of them. No, I am though. I'm a tunnel vision kind of guy, but we're still waiting. The ACC is one of the slowest leagues in the country in releasing the conference schedule. So we're still waiting on the final conference schedule to come out. But we have a couple early road tests that, we play at Georgetown, we play at Georgia. 2 games that I think, are could be sneaky good wins that could help you into the season, right? We want to put ourselves in position where we're being talked about to go to the NCAA tournament. And if you do that, or to do that, you got to win road games. And we need to get better on the road. We need to practice on the road. So I think those 2 are early tests for us. And then, playing at home, playing in front of our crowd, playing in front of our fans, I think they'll love the energy that this team has. We've tweaked our style of play a little bit, and we're going to shoot a bunch of threes, even more. I think our first game in Spain we made 16 threes, and our second game in Spain we shot 44. So get used to get a bunch of 3 cards printed up and get ready to hold them in the stands. But I think you'll love our style of play. We're playing a little bit faster, so every game's going to be fun.
That's looking forward to it. So let's go to the crowd for some questions. You have any? I think we've got one right here.
Coming over. We're Penn State residents. Sorry.
Oh, here comes the microphone.
Sorry. So we're from Pennsylvania. We are not Penn State fans, so we were thrilled to see Notre Dame steal you. What did Notre Dame convince you to leave Penn State? Because basketball there and football is also, I hate to say, just as big as here.
Yeah, I think there were a couple of factors. One is, our former athletic director, Jack Swarbrick, he did a great job of really selling Notre Dame and what this place is about. Like I was drawn to it already. I was familiar with it, having grown up a Notre Dame football fan, having grown up in Indianapolis. Like I was already familiar with it, but the way he sold it, the way he talked about it, the success that we could have here, but then getting a chance to, I reached out and did my homework too, as this process was happening. Like I called Niele Ivey. And I knew that she wouldn't give me the I'm a coach there and I graduated from there sell. She was going to give me the sell of a friend trying to make the best decision. And, you get a chance to talk to her. I talked to Coach Bray. He called me. And he said, here it is, the good, the bad, the ugly. But I want you to go there. I want you to be there. When you talk to people of that nature and coaches like that, it really sells itself. So I was sold. It didn't take much to get me on board.
Hey, Coach, I know you've got a big recruiting weekend coming up. A couple boys from Indiana, which I think is great. In Indiana, you got IU and Purdue, long tradition, probably even from basketball standpoint, more Notre Dame. How do you convince the local being Indiana, even Illinois, to come here? How do we differentiate between those 2 programs and ourselves?
Yeah, I think, you look at the differences in the schools, right? Like the bigger school or the smaller school. The ACC versus the Big Ten. Like we can separate ourselves. We can be a little bit different in those ways. So that already, sets itself apart with that and what you like. And then when it comes down to it, I don't want to, I worked for Coach Painter for a long time. He's a great coach, but we're completely different in how we do things. So You try and sell what you do. You try and sell how you can make guys better. You try and sell how you play and show them that, like, this fits you a little bit better, right? And, we have a great staff that keeps bringing guys to the table. And it's a great weekend for us. We have 3 really good players that are visiting, 2 from Indiana. And, I'd love to have both of them. And I got a hashtag waiting. I got to get them committed first. But you guys look out on social media once we get them. I don't know, I'm not going to brag, but I'm going to let them know that Notre Dame's here to stay in Indiana.
Love that.
Thank you so much. Coach, the Alumni Association is one of the strongest that we have in the country. How can the Alumni Association help in efforts with your players, not only when they're here, but after they leave?
I think we all talk as coaches about the 4 for 40, the 4 for forever, and understanding that once you graduate from Notre Dame, Notre Dame's not finished with you. And if they know that they have support, no matter where they end up, no matter where they are, Notre Dame's going to be there to support you. I think that messaging in all of these cities is really big. And one of the coolest things for me this summer is I was coaching the USA basketball team, and we were in Argentina, and there was somebody that was in the stands as we were waiting for our game to start, and he ran over and was like, "Hey, I want to take a picture with you." And I was like, he has no clue who I am, right? Like, nobody knows who I am, especially not in Argentina. So I'm like, okay, sure, let's take a picture. And he lifts his shirt up, and it was a Puerto Rican flag with a Notre Dame logo in the middle. And he said, I have a son that just graduated this year. I have another son that's going to go there next year. And, we love Notre Dame, and, we love you. And that was cool to see that, right? See the outreach of our university and, the stretch that it has, the reach that it has, not just here, not just locally, not just in this state, across this country and across this world.
We have 220 clubs in just the United States, which is pretty amazing. My home state of South Dakota has 2 clubs. That's when we've got saturation. But we also have 40 clubs all over the world that are active, and so we're blessed to have the most amazing alumni, parents, and friends network anywhere.
Hi, Coach. First off, my late husband, Frank, was a basketball coach for 30 years. So I know what you go through. I know what it is like. And God bless your wife, because there's nothing like a coach's wife.
Absolutely, yes. God bless her. Thank you.
But what I wanted to tell you was, I don't have a question. I want to pay you a compliment. I watch your press conferences, and my most favorite one you had last year was when you informed the media that if they all want to sit on the bench, they can. I loved it. You reminded me so much of my late husband, Frank. I was watching it, and I thought, oh, my God, this guy is going to be a great success, because that is the truth. Because if you don't want to play and you don't want to give an effort, then sit your ass down, because that's the way the cookie crumbles. So I just wanted to tell you that, Coach. I really appreciated that.
Thank you. A lot of people that I talk to, they always tell me after the fact, they're like, I watch every single one of your press conferences. And I guess the one thing with me is I don't know, I'm like Jim Carrey, like liar, liar. Like, I can't tell a lie. Like, I am like, what you see is what you get. I wear my emotions on my sleeve, and I tell you how it is sometimes. And some of those guys, most of our guys, almost all of our guys, you can't sometimes, like, you got to be hard on them, right? and when they need it, and you got to be tough on them. But they have to know you love them first, right? And that's the biggest thing is I really care about our guys. They know how much I'm going to fight for them. They know how much I love them. They know that if I get on them, that it's for their best. And we give a lot of effort and we fight for each other, and that's kind of all you can ask for.
Hey, Coach, big fan, so thank you for everything. Little off topic from basketball. Personal question for you. Where will you be watching the big game tomorrow at 3:30?
Tomorrow at 3:30, I will be. Like I said, we have some big time recruits here, so I'm gonna spend some time on the sideline with them pregame. If you guys see them, say hello. Tell them to come to Notre Dame. Tell them we need them. Tell them they'd be great for our program. And then I'll walk into the stands and I'll sit in my seat, regular seat. I guess there's a group of guys that are right around us. A couple of families that have been in those seats forever, and we sit next to them and we enjoy it. So just like everybody else, I'm a common man. I just happen to coach a basketball team here at Notre Dame.
I think we have time for one more question. Right?
Last one. This has to be a good one.
No?
Yeah. I got a question. What's in that Portillo's bag right there? Old ball coach missed lunch.
I was just waving at Dolly.
Yeah, we do.
Anybody else? I was just waving at you, Dolly. Anybody? Takers?
Well, let's give it up for Coach Shrewsberry. Couldn't be more excited. Thank you for everything.
Thank you guys for being here. We're looking forward to the season. Go Irish.